Hey guys, it's Parzival, I also go by Will, and I am back with another speed paint. So some of you guys have asked recently about my OCs, and I did a video a few weeks ago where I asked you guys what you guys want to see more of, and you guys apparently wanted to hear more about my OCs, which is honestly really flattering because I wasn't really sure those are actually super interesting to you guys, but I figured I could start talking about OCs of mine when I do speed paints of them. And they're not always going to be from the same storyline or from the same universe or whatever, because I always have. I'm not a big epic story person. I have a couple of those, I think anyone does, but I'm honestly more of a smaller contained story anthology type of person, mostly because I have a relatively short attention span sometimes, and I enjoy exploring new ideas and themes. So, not all of my characters come from the same universe, even though a lot of them are interconnected, but I tend to move around their storylines and universes depending on what sort of story I'm telling. So, this is going to be, I don't know if I'd call it a series, but this is going to be a bunch of videos where I'm going to be talking about my OCs as I draw them on screen and I can tell you about them and stuff like that. So, if you guys just want to mute my voice and watch the speed paint, totally fine. I totally get it, and I totally respect that because I can understand that some people prefer their own music to speed paints, and like, I really honestly just like talking in my videos, but I do understand that some people just like to, watch the videos on their own. Excuse my buzzing phone in the background. Oh, also, as one more quick update, I do know that I was talking about something for passing 500 subscribers, but considering the new YouTube monetization regulations have requiring 1,000 subscribers, I figured I'm gonna hold that off until I hit 1,000, and that way I can actually, make something of it, because at that point it is actually a milestone where I will get remonetized. So, yeah. Uh, that being said, I will get into talking about the character on screen right now. Also, apologies if this is a little awkward because it's a sort of new thing that I'm doing. It's going to take me a little bit to actually get into the groove of actually doing this and just talking to you guys about my OC, especially since I don't always think super linearly. So, big apologies if that ends up being an issue. Please bear with me while I learn this. So the character on screen is named Esme. His full name is Esmerlin Almazan, and he is a magic user, or an esper, or a psychic. In his world, it's a sort of modern magic verse, and actually psychic slash esper and magic user are two different things, but they often correspond, because in his world, psychic doesn't inherently just mean magic. But Esme has telekinesis and can move small things around with his mind, mostly parlor tricks, unless he has what's called a focus stone, which is a thing that allows someone to take their psychic abilities and multiply them. So with a focus stone or something like that, or a focusing crystal, or anything really made out of a material that enhances magical or psychic powers, a lot of them overlap, but not all of them. But it'll allow him better control over his telekinesis. He can lift stronger things, and he can even expand that to telepathy and conjuring and vanishing items. So he is a magical law enforcement, or rather, he is part of magical law enforcement. And this outfit that he's wearing is actually not his magical law enforcement outfit, but it is an outfit that was given to him when he first met a friend of his who was also relatively magic. That friend, whose name is Iver, or Winter as I'm going to call him from now on because I can't pronounce his name the proper way since it has like that French R sound at the end. But Winter basically was really, really offended that Esme was like, his closet was super duper small, and he didn't really have a lot of clothes besides his uniform and some really crappy street clothes. So he got Esme some new clothes because Winter is pretty wealthy, and unbeknownst to Esme at the time, was a fairy, or a fae, prince of the ice domain. And therefore, he had a lot of money to spend, and he had become friends with Esme, so he spent a lot of money on just getting Esme a new wardrobe. And basically, over the years, he and Esme got pretty close, and then eventually became queer platonic partners. Esme learned that he was a fae, and it got really weird because Esme was like, I don't know how to feel about this because you're basically dumping a lot of money on me, and it didn't really mean much to, a fae, because faes are magic, and especially princes have a lot of money. I definitely, with this picture, wanted to make sure that I drew this outfit, though, because it's a good example of Esme wearing an outfit that he didn't choose, and it's very clearly not his style. Because Esme personally likes a lot of cold shoulder tops and stuff like that, and long sleeves. But I think I'm getting a little bit off track here. I apologize. This is kind of what I mean by I don't really think linearly. Sometimes things go in a little bit of a circle. But I was talking about Esme's outfit because, in my opinion, a character's fashion should also match their personality. And Esme's normal fashion is very practical and very minimalistic. He grew up very, very poor, and when he got the opportunity to go into a job that he was relatively good at, which is medical law enforcement, and make some money, he was only really the type to buy his essentials and not anything more than what he needed because he was trying to save up money. But even so, because of that, and because he was also giving away some of his money to his family, he didn't really have much for himself. So very often he'll end up in outfits that other people give him, uniforms and stuff like that. His normal sort of style is much more magical looking, and it's a lot of cold shoulder tops and long gloves, but he can't really afford that on his personal budget. He's a very practical type person, but also very, very down to earth and realistic, hence like the neutral tones of his jacket here. But at the same time, he's also in general very argumentative with people he disagrees with, and very passionate about what he does. And that can be shown through like the bright purple of his pants, which is not only a magical color, but also a very bright color that is a little bit overwhelming, but not super obnoxious to the point of like overpowering the rest of the outfit. It's definitely a core part of his personality, and you can't miss it. But even though he's a snarky, sarcastic, and argumentative person, it's not all that he is, and it's not to the point where it's really overwhelmingly obnoxious and a bad thing. Or at least he tries not to make it a bad thing. He doesn't always succeed, and doesn't have many friends because of sort of his, like, aggressive attitude sometimes. But he's learning, and he is very, very fortunate on his own. This is primarily because, while he is often sarcastic and snarky to people, he doesn't necessarily mean it in a bad way, and he actually does check in with people if he thinks he's gone too far, or clarify something if he thinks that something was misconstrued. And this is because a lot of stuff can be pretty blurry, especially in terms of like magic in his world. So knowing what people mean when they do a spell is kind of like knowing what people mean when they're having a conversation. Now, normally I would go on, because this is just scratching the surface of what kind of type of character Esme is and who he is as a person, but unfortunately we are getting close to the end of the video. So I'll tell you guys what. If you guys want to ask any questions about this particular OC, you can leave them in the comments below, and I might just answer them in the next video that I talk about Esme, or I might answer them in the comments. If you want to contact me on any of my other social media, those are down in the description below. Or you can ask the questions on my Patreon, where for $1 a month you can support me and see my sketch stuff before it goes up on any of my social media as a speed paint or even just as a sketchbook tour. So yeah, as usual, thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you next time. Bye!